Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Capital A Trading. Hope you're having a good Sunday. This is my Forex weekly. So this is just going to be that video where I have a look in the charts, look for the best opportunities for the coming week, and then I'll be displaying it to you here. So again, guys, if that sounds good, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting things coming this month. Let's get straight into the charts. Okay, guys, so what I'm going to do to start the video this week is I'm going to take you through the gold pairs, explain what I'm seeing, explain what I think is coming for the coming week. So again, I'm going to start on the gold pound. I just want to explain this 1300 mark, this 1300 area. This is where I believe the sell's coming from, maybe 1280, 1300, somewhere in there. As you can see, this level here has been holding up quite nicely. It looks like price is struggling to break through something. It looks like it's struggling to break above 1300. So I'm going to watch that level, 1280 to 1300. I'm looking for a sell in here to ride down and make a whole new low. So I'm expecting it to go literally from 1300 down to maybe 1200. If I then move to the gold euro, again, similar picture. This one looks a bit stronger. The selling power looks a bit like more like it's there. Again, very similar picture. I believe it's struggling in this area, let's say in between 1490, 1480. And again, I'm just going to be looking, if I come down to a 4 hour and just show you, I'm going to be looking at the retest, looking for price to come back up into this area for where we're going to get the big sell. The best looking one, which is what I've been banging on about, is the gold USD. Now here I've got a level where I've been plotting a sell for ages. It's around the 1800 mark. It's actually playing off of the foot of my candle that I'm interested in. So the level of that is 1795. I still believe it can come to 1810. So basically what I'm saying is in between 1795 and 1810 next week, it could, sit in this area, below this area all week. And then Friday, there'll be a little move in there. So let's just keep an eye on this area this week, the 1800 mark. This is going to be one of my main focuses. This is going to be what I'm looking to put a big position on. So again, just keep an eye on that 1795. Let's see if price comes again to that level and rejects. If it does, I'll start to think about placing a position there. Another little bonus one, just on the start here, is oil. Now, I've been banging on about this trade for ages, the 64 level. Price has hit our level and had a great reaction, come down all the way towards the 60.50 mark. So now what I'm looking at is kind of similar to the gold moves. It's just a retest. I'm looking at the area. I'm going to see if it's going to hold again. So again, let's maybe say 63.50 to 64. I'll be looking at seeing price struggle there for the big sell to maybe come down and take out all this liquidity below here. A big target of 57. So from 64 to 57, it's a big trade. So keep an eye on them ones. That's the gold and oil. Okay, guys, next up is the pound USD. I've had a few trades on this recently, some successful, some have been hit out of break even. So again, what I'm still believing in is that price needs to come to the 141 mark and it needs to come to the 136 mark. I don't know which one it's coming to first. As you can see right now, we're kind of in the middle of the pitch. So if I just come down a time frame, what I'm going to expect to the start of the week is I want to see some dollar strength. I want to see what price is doing off of this candle here. I want to see if it's going to react again and then make a push to the upside. I want to see eventually all of the liquidity above here get wiped out. So I'm going to think for the early start of this week is the buy push from this level around the 137,600 mark off of this candle. I want to see if price just dips into here and if it's going to have that monstrous push. That's what I'm focusing on for the early part of the week on the pound USD. If I just move over to the euro USD, got a nice little trade building up here on the daily. I do believe it's going to go from the 121,600 mark. I believe we're going to get the euro pushing a bit more. It's almost there. It's about 60 pips away. And I'm going to be looking for a sell, 21,500 to 21,600, somewhere off of this candle here. This is the daily picture. This is the swing where a new low has been made. So I just want to see what's going to happen around that level. So that's kind of what I'm going to be focusing on for the pound USD and euro USD for the early part of the week. That can change. That can change very depending on the news. I'm going to keep an eye on this area and just see what's going to happen. By Wednesday, if things are looking different, this may change. So again, be sure to keep an eye on that midweek video. That's the pound USD and the euro USD. Okay, guys, so just a quick update on the pound CAD. There was a lot of movement in this last week due to that news. There was the pound news. There was some CAD news. I was mentioning around the 175, 175, 300 mark. It went from about 175, 700. And this is the area that it's come to. It's played off at this level and it had a monstrous move in time with the news. There was news at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I believe it was on Wednesday. and then we got the push down. So just looking at this now, the trade's done quite well. I've got an actual small position on this, so I'm in a bit of profit right now. I'm aiming to ride this lower. I believe it's coming to take this liquidity out. So there's no trade really in this one right now. Let's see if that goes and makes a new low, and I'll be updating this in the midweek video. That's the pound CAD. Okay, guys, so a quick update on the pound NZD move. I'm still holding out on that 191 area. Okay, so I like the way price kind of moved last week. It threatened to make some movements up. It's now looks like it's shooting down to our area. It may not get there this week, but this is something that I'm going to be focusing on a lot. It's the pound NZD. I want to see that buy from the 191 level. If it starts to struggle there, and obviously starts to make its move and start to be a buy push, I'll be looking at that. If the buy push starts to run out of energy quite soon, I'd be focusing on the sell to then maybe ride to this level. So I'm going to kind of just watch the 188 and 191, obviously the 191 first. I want to see how price acts there. If it don't look too good to me, I'll leave it, maybe let it go another week. The next focus will be the 188 level. So again, just keep an eye on these areas. I can see some possible buy moves here. If I just move to the Euro NZD, this is something that's going to be very current. This is something that I was looking at for Friday, and I kind of like the way price has been moving in the area. I'm just going to show you this level here. It's on the 4-hour time frame, and it's around the 168 level, around 168, 168, 300. Now, what you can see here is it's just lots of imbalanced candles, lots of gaps have been created in the market. If I come down to the 2-hour, you get to see my buy to sell scenario. I'm looking to play off of this lonesome blue candle. I want to know why it's there in the middle of nowhere. And as you can see, price has been reacting off of this area already and showing signs of struggle. So again, just keep an eye on this level around the 168, 168, 300 possible sell. Another one to kind of watch for the start of the week is the euro pound. Again, this is another trade that I've been involved with. I've been looking at a lot. And it's now back at the 87 level. So again, it's kind of that paranoia state. Is it going to do it again? Is it not? It's at the level. Price is showing good signs of maybe moving again. I'm just going to watch this one early with a pinch of salt in the week. So the 87 level, yeah, it's at 87,100 right now. I want to see just how the week's going to open up. I'll let Sunday night go. I'll be monitoring Monday's London Open, seeing how that goes, seeing the New York session. And then I'll be updating this one in the midweek video. So again, keep an eye on this level. There could be a possible sell from where it is. I'm expecting the pound to have a strong start to the week. Keep an eye on that level. Euro pound, yeah. Okay, guys, next one I want to talk about is the USD Swiss franc. I actually called this move recently, the 94,500 mark, and it's had a lovely drop from there. And now looking at the progress, it's been quite a good move. It's actually made a new low. I'm just going to be focusing on the buy around the 90 mark, 9,500. I want to see what's going to happen when price gets down to there. See if the dollar's going to catch some strength later in the week. So just keep an eye on that 9,500 mark on the USD Swiss franc. I've got another one, the NZDUSD. I actually went through this with one of my students yesterday in a lesson. So what I'm talking about is this trade is still valid. Price has been here now for around 7 days. This is the scenario, I believe, where the buy to sell is, where I believe the market makers have placed their positions. Price has been struggling here. It showed me a nice rejection candle, but it's still here. So the move's still valid. It's about the timing now. I believe price is going to go from around the 72,500 mark. It's just about when. So again, like I just mentioned, I want to see the dollar gain some strength later in the week. So again, I'll be watching this Monday, Tuesday, seeing if this area is going to uphold. And then I'll be looking to place a sell position around that 72,300 mark. Keep an eye on this one. Okay, guys, next up is the AUDJPY. I actually called a good trade on this, and I'm going to kind of just explain what I'm thinking to do now. So the trade I mentioned was off of this level here, the 84,600, 800 mark. It went from about 700 perfectly in the middle, and it's had a lovely drop. It hasn't actually made a new low yet. It's threatening to. So what I'm seeing now is I want to see price, the AUD, which is obviously going to open tonight first. I want to see them gain their strength. Let's see if it can come up towards the 84,200 mark. And then I'll be looking to see if there may be another sell around 84,200, 400. I'm going to look to see it play off of that scenario where I know market makers came to that area, touched into it, and then dropped. This is where I can now see where they're last sitting. So just keep an eye on that level. 84,600. It could be anywhere in between this level here. It's about a 40 pip range. I'm going to be watching that for the start of the week very, very closely. That's the AUDJPY. I've got another one. Bear with me. It's the EUROJPY. Now, what I want to explain on this is I've had a few students trade this. I've got a rough understanding of where the liquidity is going to be. There's been a lot of sellers trying to get into the market off of this area. They dipped up, took out the area, they've come back. So what I'm looking at now is still there's going to be lots of sellers that are anticipating this dropping from this area. And I believe it will drop again from the 13600, 800 mark. What I'm looking to see is it come down towards 129, 200, 350, where my red lines are. I want to see it hit into that level where I may place a buy position to then go against all of that liquidity. I'm aware that lots of sellers are being induced into this market, if you want to call it that. And I'm just going to see again how this starts the week. But this is the level. This is what I'm mainly focusing on the EURJPY, that 129, 200, 350 level. Keep an eye on that yourself. Okay, guys, so this is just the part that I want to add into my videos. This is the news that's coming up this week. So as you can see, some of the main focuses are going to be the interest rate decision for the yen. That's coming in the early hours of Tuesday morning. Wednesday is going to be the main focus because of the dollar. The dollar's getting its interest rate decision. It's around 7 o'clock in the evening, so just before the New York closes. So I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. Again, the euro with the President Lagarde's speech. So there's usually going to be some movement in the euro. We'll be focusing on that. And towards the end of the week, there's not too much that's going to affect the market. Maybe this CPI here with the euro. Other than that, there's a bit on the Swiss franc with their chairman speaking. I'll be focusing on that. Other than that, the only two things that are really going to catch my eye is the interest rate decision here for the dollar and the yen's interest rate decision there. Keep an eye on them things. They may fuel some of the trades that I've mentioned. And of course, you've now got timing to think about when it may happen. The yen interest rate decision, and of course, the US interest rate decision. They're the main focuses this week. Okay, guys, that's all from me this week. If you like that, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. Keep an eye on the trades that I've mentioned, and I'll be back here on Thursday to review how they've got on. Have a great week.